So we're here again at Si's Corner. We're working on an intarsia for our trip. We've decided to make intarsia signs for hanging in the Signpost forest on our trip to Alaska. And this is the pattern we're going to be using. That should be fun, huh? And we have a new intarsia here.
Intarsia.
Intarsia.
Is that the correct name?
It is now. Should be fun.
I hope so.
So here's our parts. We got it laid out in the different wood colors we want to use. And yeah, we're kind of ready to keep moving on this. See how much we can get done today. Well, we got all the paper pieces cut out and glued onto the appropriate wood after a slight correction because I put those pieces. Because I put those pieces on that piece.
There. It won't work now. Awesome. He's filming.
Because I put those pieces on this wood, so I had to fix that. But it's corrected now, so moving on to the next step. It was a lot of fun working on this project. This is only my second attempt at intarsia. So thankful to have good friends like Stan and Si that allow us to come up and use their shop and help us out with these projects. And it was also extremely neat to have Sonja up here helping with the project and working on cutting out the pieces and sanding and putting it all together. It was just a lot of fun to have it as a joint project like that, especially for such a big occasion like going up to Alaska. And we're going to be going up through this area to the Signpost Forest at Watson Lake. We've got an entire day planned on our way back that we're going to sightsee and find a spot in the forest to hang up these really cool signs. While we were working on ours, Stan and Si were working on theirs. So we have matching RVs as far as pattern. The woods are a lot different. And part of the design I left out because we were doing a little something different with the window. So it was really neat to see the differences between the two.
So this is as far as we've gotten so far. Keep this cutting the tire out right now. I'm waiting to figure out what I should work on next.
So we've been cutting things out. Things are moving along pretty good. Got a lot of the little pieces done. And now we're working on the bigger pieces.
So what do you do when you have a piece that's too long?
I was able to take that board and cut it down to a more appropriate size for Sonja to work on. It was a little big there at first. Okay, so we have almost everything cut out. We still need to cut out the hole for the tail light to go into, the hole for the doorknob, and we need to cut out the window for the door. But I think other than that, everything is cut out. So it's definitely moving forward. Pretty cool. Here I'm working on resizing some of the pieces to give it a little more of a 3D look to the trailer. It's a lot of sanding. You sand a little, test fit it, sand a little, test fit.
Okay, so those go down there. Oh wait, helps to put them on the right way. So those are pretty much even now with the bottom of the door. Mm-hmm. And we think about keeping that further out, right?
Yeah, I think because your step would step out further.
All right.
We've taken paper off and we've shaped a number of pieces. What's the next step?
We need to get this down to the same height as this piece. I think I'm going to use the drum sander for that.
Okay.
Then we have to laser our logo in there and put our name on there. And then once we get, because I want to round the corners of this, once we get this flattened to the same level, once all that's done and the corners are rounded, then it's finished sanding and then we start prepping the backer board.
Cool. This is exciting.
It's very exciting.
Yay!
All right, so we got the majority of sanding done. We still need to finish sanding. We've got these two levels
pretty much the same. We've got different things shaped like the propane tank and front wheel and all of that. We want to do like a screw in the center there for like a hubcap. I need to look at some things I have at home, and then we need to laser our logo and our name on here, and then we're going to actually do a little Lexan window with some actual real fabric curtains behind it for the window. But I think it's build the backing board and then finish sanding and assemble and get this thing ready to hang up in Alaska. I'm super pumped.
So here we are working on the backer board. Kind of messed up a little bit here, but thankfully I hadn't started tracing out the wood yet, but I had it kind of in the middle of the board, wasting more material. Thought better about it, so we moved it. Just using some 1/4-inch material I had at home. You cut it out, you lay your actual wood pieces on it and trace them out so that when you cut the backer board out, it's in the shape of your pieces, just in case your pieces aren't quite what the pattern showed. And while I was working on that, Cy and Sonja went over to the laser engraver and started working. That's our back window for the RV sign, and we're laser engraving our logo on it. We come up with a logo. I drew it up not too long ago. It's not very finished, but it's a rough logo, and we like it, and it's good enough to be up here on the sign. Watching the laser is kind of cool. It's amazing how it doesn't just draw it out in one continuous. It jumps back and forth through the design and through the letters. We were doing our names on some signs in another part of it, and it wouldn't do it. In the way it's spelled, it just like started in the middle and then jumped to another letter and then jumped to another letter. But it gets it all done, and it looks really neat. It's a neat feature to have. I got all the tracing done on the backer board and was cutting it out. The area around the propane tank and the front tire was real small, real tedious work to get all that cut out. It's not the most fun part of the project, but it's definitely worthwhile.
Final sanding, I think, is finished. All the laser engraving is done. The backer board is being worked on right now. We're almost ready to put this thing together. Pretty exciting.
Good stuff.
So we got the laser engraving on the back done. We're ready to glue this thing together.
They are now gluing on their pieces. Look at that. Woo-wee!
It's really neat to be in the spot where you're actually assembling all the pieces that you've worked on and sanded and shaped. Seeing it all come together is really neat. The next best part is when you actually put the finish on. Since we're going to be putting these up in the Signpost forest, we figured they needed a little better weather protection, so we decided we were going to epoxy coat them completely. And the epoxy coat should definitely hold up better to the weather up there. It's also kind of weird to be working on such an intricate, really neat, artistic sign, and we're going to take it up with us up into Canada and leave it behind in Whitehorse. But it's worth it, and it's really neat to see the trailer that Stan and Cy worked on. It's different wood and different design, and it's amazing how different they look even though they're the same pattern.
What do you
Got
want?
it done. Isn't that exciting? First time I've ever done intarsia.
All it needs is epoxy.
Yep. Which Stan is going to do.
And here's the finished project. All epoxied up, Got the holes drilled. We left a tab on the backer board that you can see on the top of the trailer. That's for one of the screws, so we can mount it up on the post. Thanks for watching. We'll see you up there.